So how safe would you be behind the wheel after working 16 hours straight? That's a question being raised about SuperShuttle drivers after this week's fatal crash which killed a passenger. Tonight, Peggy Fox continues our investigation and reports many drivers say they have to work double shifts just to earn a salary that is less than half of the median income for this area.
These drivers are stressed out. They're after the money. They need to pay SuperShuttle.
SuperShuttle drivers have been speaking out after Monday's fatal wreck, which killed a passenger. The driver hit the Jersey wall and was charged with reckless driving. Fatigue may have been a factor. More than a dozen drivers tell us they usually work 16 and even 24-hour shifts.
The lack of sleep is the main thing. Lack of sleep, and you cannot sleep. You need to pay SuperShuttle.
The drivers are not employees, but franchisees of SuperShuttle. The company will not answer any of our questions, but drivers say SuperShuttle's fees have gone up so much, they have to work at least 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, just to eke out a living. The prime pickup times are early in the morning and in the late afternoon. One trip with 3 full-paying customers would bring in about $100. They need 4 of those trips a day to gross $2,800 a week, a nearly impossible task to do in an 8-hour shift. And then their expenses eat up most of that. After paying a weekly fee of $750, plus a quarter of their earnings to SuperShuttle, along with $490 for gas and $140 for insurance, it leaves only $720 left per week for the driver, according to this driver and others. Have you ever driven when you felt too tired?
Yes. Be like, God, please help me to get to point B so I'll get some sleep.
The allegations these drivers are making about long hours and evidence of speeding, along with this week's fatality, have raised concerns with the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Commission, which regulates SuperShuttle.
The seriousness of this one incident is sufficient, I think, to require the agency to at least consider whether there might be a driver fatigue problem that exists in the industry.
Do you know if SuperShuttle has hours of service rules?
No, I don't. Not at this time. That's certainly something we'll be looking into.
After our series of reports this week, the Transit Commission's executive director says he will be questioning SuperShuttle and the industry about driver fatigue and long hours and whether new policies are needed. Leslie?
Well, SuperShuttle is in many airports across the country. Is this problem happening in other parts of the country too?
It is, especially in Miami and Los Angeles. A former driver, in fact, at LAX has a YouTube site called SuperShuttle Corporate Slaves, where many alleged drivers have posted their plights, and we have a link for you on our website.
And we know you'll stay on top of it.